we're talking about the funeral of the fallen officers down in Dallas. George W. Bush was more presidential than the Obama regime was. The Obama regime, again, 11th time, he's been to 11 funerals, 11 of these funerals of the fallen officers now, 11 funerals since his since day one when he got sworn into office. 11 funerals, and each time the Obama regime took the opportunity to talk about gun control, and this is no different. He actually did it again. He did it again to talk about gun control, address gun control to the fallen heroes, the fallen officers who gave their lives to defend and protect our communities. And the Obama regime took the opportunity to actually talk about gun control. The Obama regime, damn him, damn this man. How can he do that? What's his purpose behind doing that? This is not a funeral. It's not a place to have a political platform to use to actually gain your agenda. Is not for this at all. A funeral is respecting of the families, number one. Number two, you actually honor those who gave their life, who gave the ultimate sacrifice to defend and serve our community. George W. Bush got it correct. The Obama regime did again. Damn him, damn this man. And just no respect. No. Trish, go ahead.
I'm not surprised at what Obama said or did. His main purpose for the gun control is so that he can implement martial law because of all these riots, the protesters and whatnot. And he figures the quicker he can gather up the guns from people, even though the ones that have them legitimately, the better off he's going to be because he can implement that and stop the election. Mm-hmm. This is his purpose. Former President Bush, I'm not surprised. I mean, when he spoke after 9/11, it was so heartfelt, and I mean, even now I can feel myself tearing up over it. But President Bush
cared.
He cares. He not only cared, but he cares now. Mm-hmm. Plus the fact that's his state. Texas is where he lives. So it's I can see the look on his face as he's talking. I can feel the depth of his emotion. I know a lot of people didn't like President Bush. A lot of people, even now, do not like him. I switched from independent to Republican so I could help represent him in 2004 when he was running the second time. Because of how he reacted to 9/11. He caused me to become a straight-up Republican. I'm more conservative now than a Republican. But he's responsible for that. And I will more than likely, for the rest of my life, be indebted to him for that and for being able to see the type of emotion he shows in tragedy.
I gotta tell you a story about George W. Bush. Can I do that? Can I share it with you?
Sure.
Okay, well, I was working in Miramar Park, and this is in the King County Park in Seattle, Washington. The Marine One landed in our park, and before they landed, we actually saw a couple prowlers. I'm not sure if you know what kind of planes those are. Those are Navy aircraft. They do ground sweep and air sweep is what it is. A prowler is your Navy fighting air, jet, air, sorry, Navy jet, where it actually takes out ground as well as air. So it's a basically what it takes out your tanks and just destroys anything that's on the ground that moves. Kind of like a Harrier in that respect, but the Prowler has carry more bombs and more missiles than a Harrier does. That's the difference. And so the Prowler is more of a fighter when it comes to taking out your enemy air or ground better than the Harrier could in that respect. So that's what. And so before President Bush came to our park, we saw a couple. Well, I saying we. It was my coworker and I were actually saw saw what the prowlers were doing, trying to clear the airspace out for the air traffic for Air Force One, because Air Force One flew right over our park. This is 2 hours before Air Force One showed up, so they had to clear the airspace out to have Air Force One, and then 1 hour before Marine One landed, because it was either SeaTac or Boeing Field, Air Force One landed. I'm not sure which one it was. I wasn't there, so that's why I'm not here to say what airport he landed. I don't know. But that night we had to shut down the park. We had over 2,000 people in our park that night. We got everybody out. They said, you got 2 hours. He said, I'm giving you 2 hours to get everybody out. This is what he said. The Secret Service came by when we saw the prowlers, and he said, you got to get everybody out. My coworker left because he had a reception dinner, wedding rehearsal dinner, so he had to leave. I was the only guy working in a park. I had to evacuate over 2,000 people less than 1 hour, and I got it done single-handedly. We have 1,500 people in our soccer, and then there was about another 400 or 500 people, different areas. Because it's 650 acres. That's how big our park was. So the soccer fields, baseball fields, you can imagine how many people they were there all together. Of over 2,000 people at a park being 650 acres. 620 acres, so what it is. It was 620 or 650. Anyway, it was either 620 or 650 acres. Anyway, we had to do, myself, my coworker was there, but he had to leave early. So I was only, I call it Secret Service too as well, because my coworker left. But he let the Secret Service. I was the only guy at the park before Marine One landed. They said, you got 2 hours to clear this park. I'm giving you 2 hours. You gotta get everybody out of here. I said, do you think you can do it? Because we're going to see what we can do. But I'm going to work with you guys. I'm going to see. I said, I just said, the Secret Service are here. You got to clear the park out. We got Secret Service here. I don't know what's going on. They're not telling us, but they're telling us to evacuate the park. We have the sheriff's department here. We have law enforcement here. We have different security companies here. We have military personnel here right now. We're asking you, please, vacate the park. We're telling you asking you to remove yourself from the park. So relieve yourself. So that's what we had to do. But it was one of the most challenging things you can actually do.
Wow.
We got done less than that. I'm telling you, when Marine One landed in our park, we got everybody out less than 45 minutes. Everybody was gone when Marine One landed, and And President Bush was the most gracious president you ever come across. If you ever got the chance to meet President Bush, he was a gracious guy. He really was. He was genuine, just like today. The funeral, he was full of grace and full of humble. He was completely humble, and you can tell that it was heartfelt. And that's what he is. That's who President Bush is. Obama regime takes everything he can, actually try to move his agenda out there, and that's what he does. He's been doing that since the first day in office. You don't do this.